I think Chinese government being really, really thoughtful about, what they call the DECEP. And the idea is that they've been actually studying, doing research for the last 5 years, and now very thoughtful around how they can potentially roll it out. So they identify about 7 different entities, including People Bank of China, our communication bank, and then also UnionPay, Alipay, and WeChat Pay, to think through. Okay, first on the commercial side to roll that out to the commercial side on clearing and settlement, and then let the bank and of course WeChat Pay, Alipay to roll it out to normal citizens.
So how soon could it be a reality?
I think actually could be quite soon, even though it seems like the timing is just right after Mark Zuckerberg got grilled by U.S. Congress, but it's really been something they've been in the works for the last few years. So I think definitely within the next 6 to 12 months.
And Edith, something very interesting about this, it stoked a lot of discussion about what happens then to the yuan versus the US dollar in terms of, does the yuan begin to challenge the US dollar because it's become a sort of this central bank push digital currency? Is that realistic? Does the yuan become a serious threat to the power of the US dollar?
I think Chinese government is being really, really smart about driving the adoption of RMB. Can you imagine if for especially the One Belt One Road initiative, they're starting to land all in virtual RMB, and in many of these countries will, of course, they would want to work with China to start adopting virtual RMB. I really think that the United States needs to hurry up to have a strong thinking and policy, at least a direction for virtual USD.
And what's at stake if they don't?
Well, plenty of things at stake. I think worldwide for now, most of the countries, developing or developed countries, sort of dominate USD as the prime currency. But once we started to actually use RMB as most of the borrowing or businesses or construction, can you imagine now we're going to start only denominate in RMB? So it really will challenge the U.S.
One of the interesting things you mentioned as well is about President Xi and his backing of blockchain technology. So what do you see happening now in China, given that President Xi has thrown his weight behind blockchain? How does blockchain technology develop now in China versus, say, the U.S.?
Yeah, I think China in general, China is built by engineers and U.S. is built by lawyers. So in many cases, like the way that is always think about how do we actually groom more talent. We certainly will see many universities will start offering courses to really help engineers to build the expertise. That's one area. And of course, we already started seeing many city and governments or province to actually now wanted to invest in blockchain technologies. And of course, by chatting with big companies like Alibaba or Tencent, they're already looking at deploying blockchain technology to very different facets of how they run their business.